This is going to be, shockingly, a hodgepodge video. There's a few things to talk about. A few things. So, I don't even know where to start. So, life moves on, and we'll start with the general idea. The layout will be at the Brick Shack until July 20th. Today is I don't know what today is, Sunday. 4th, 5th, probably 5th or 6th, doesn't matter. So another 2 weeks, basically, a week and a half. I'll be picking it up, well, I guess 2 Sundays from now. Because it's today's Sunday, and I told them to pick it up on the Sunday. So if you want to look at it without having to pay for it, go over to, it's a little glossy on top, go over to the Brick Shack in Grimsby, Ontario. It's right there on the main drag. It's fantastic. The owners have been very kind and decent to me to let me display it for this long. But I'm bringing it back on July 20th to the house because it seriously needs a serious amount of serious work. See, I used the word serious 3 times in one sentence. It needs a lot of work. Now, when I was there last time, the train was still running without problem, although the wheels seemed a little squeaky, which is fine and not shocking. None of the monorails were running nicely, so I'm gonna have to revamp all of those before the show in August at Brickomania. And so that's why I'm picking it up on the 20th of July to give me some time to resolve the issues. Some of it's going to be electrical, some of it's going to be replacing batteries and, well, not batteries, replacing motors, pickups, etc., etc., etc. It's also fixing the lighting because I know that there's a lot of lighting issues with it. I'm going to probably be having to order more of those 9-volt to 3.3-volt adapters, just so I use RCXs to run the life lights instead of the 12 power modules running those things. I don't know if any of that's going to get done in time before we leave for Montreal. So because August is looking packed for our family. It's just, oh my goodness, we got so many things going on in August. So that's why I'm grabbing on the 20th to give myself as much lead time as possible, and still have, you know, the owners really appreciate having it there. I told them that after the show in August that I won't need it again until November for Bricks in the Six. So I said, if you want it, I would have no issue bringing it back, but see what happens. So that's point number 1. Point number 2 and I guess the rest of it's mostly personal. And this is going to start off with shockingly a tangent. Many years ago, Sandy and I were walking along the beach at Confederation Park here in Hamilton, if I remember correctly. My memory is a little whatever. But we were walking along the beach, and I noticed right at the water's edge, lapping on the shore there, I found 2 Lego bricks together. One was a 2x4 blue brick, and one was a 2x4 white plate. And they had clearly been in the water for a very long time, or near the water or on the beach or whatever, because the corners were all rounded over a little bit, but not far enough in the water or out there in the elements for the longest time, because they could still be used as brick. they still lock together, but all the corners, the edges were smoothed over, especially the plate, the 2x4 plate, but they were also stuck together as a cross, which I thought was very odd that it stayed together that long. And so I found those, and I said, my radar seems to detect Lego. I remember many years ago, we were in high school, and I was walking along my friend's driveway, leaving this house after lunch. We went over to his place for lunch at school. Then we're walking back to the school, and out by the roadway, was this driveway ended, there was a 2x4 brick there. That was probably one of his, he said, because he has Lego, we all have Lego, but it was at the end of the road. And so boom, there it is. It was a red brick. I remember it vividly to this day, because we talked about it, because in the 2x4 red brick that was laying there on the side of the road by his driveway, a spider had decided to build its little hidey hole in the center tube underneath the 2x4 red brick. And I picked up the brick, and I found a stick, and I make sure there's no dead spiders in there or anything. I put it in my pocket, and he says, "Oh, you just ruined the spider's home." I said, Whatever. I don't know why I remember that conversation to this day. When I was a kid living at our houses, the first house and the second house, I remember just mowing the lawn 8, 9, 10, 11 years old, and sometimes I would run over a brick. Now, not to say that our Lego collection often came outside, because Lego normally is not an outdoor sport, but occasionally I would bring a blue plane that I talked about before, or whatever outside, and then we go off on adventures, and sometimes it would smash into the ground and you put them back together, I guess, obviously not completely, and the next month or the next week or the next whatever, I'm cutting the grass, all of a sudden, poof, a Lego brick comes shooting out the chute of the lawnmower. It's happened. I won't say a lot, but more than once. So, but I wouldn't say dozens of times, but it's actually happened to me where I run over Lego with a lawnmower. So anyway, all these tangents of finding Lego outside the house, sometimes due to my own, shall we say, negligence or lack of awareness that I left Lego outside after things break on the ground. But overall, the beach, not mine. I found it fantastic. My buddy Jerry's driveway, probably his. He didn't want it back. we were in high school. And again, most people had already given up the Lego hobby, but for me, in my entire realm, I did not inherit his Lego collection. I actually have no idea. Just that